Dude, this
Yeah,
is
yeah,
crazy. But let's just start from this too, because a lot of people don't know this about you yourself. You know, you're on the national team for Muay Thai, and a lot of people want to educate them that there's going pro, and there's amateur strikers or whatever. But you're basically someone. If there was an Olympic team, you'd be on the Muay Thai Olympic team. Even though it's
right.
not on the Olympics yet, like you're in the American national team. So if anybody's seen the best of the best, it's this. Think of just Muay Thai, and that's basically what Ryan did.
Right.
And so
Yeah,
it's a super
IFMA.
high level. So tell people about that. It's something else that people don't talk about. It's super like the striking you're doing is pretty up there. It's not like your normal amateur.
Yes, sir. Yeah. With IFMA, the U.S. typically sends amateurs because we don't pay our fighters, but all the other countries are sending some of their best pros. You know, you go and you're putting kids from the U.S. who have like 10, 20, 30 amateur fights against guys from Thailand's team who have hundreds of pro fights. I
Oh
mean,
my God. Yeah.
last summer, who was there was a couple famous ties in their team, like famous like stadium champions that were just, doing to represent their country. I fought a guy in Colombia, Miguel Campos, who actually was a silver medalist at the World Championships, and he's a pro fighter. Has 30, 40 fights under his belt, and it's just a big jump in the competition. And they do pad us up. There's elbow pads and shin guards. They want to make it look regulation for like an Olympic sport. They try to keep it, it's like clean looking as possible, kind of like Olympic boxing. But you're fighting some high level dudes where you're not seeing that level. I fought in all the amateur tournaments, fought in the amateur shows, and went overseas to Thailand, fought in the stadiums a little bit. But over there, even you got to like work your way up, and then you get thrown into IFMA, and you just find some high level guys who everyone wants it. No one's gonna take a step back, and you're representing your country, and just the vibe in there is insane. Your team's screaming USA, and whoever you're fighting, they're screaming Russia or whatever it may be, and there's a lot of emotion in it.
Oh man, that's insane.
Yeah.
So is it like what are the rounds? Is it 3 minutes or is it like Olympic boxing where it's a minute and a half?
Yeah, it's 3 3-minute rounds, and you're wearing amateur gear, but it's like pro rules. So you can knee to the face. There's elbows. There's dumps, and all the stuff in the clinches. Everything's fair game basically. That would be in like a stadium style fight.
Oh, that's dope. That gives you so much experience too, especially because I know different regulations in states. You can't use the elbow a certain way. You can't do a lot of
Yeah.
stuff that are in the regular art of Muay Thai.
Yeah. Yeah, and you get the Thai ref treatment, where in America you get hit in the groin, the fight stops. Over there in Italy, you get hit in the groin, there's go. There's no stopping or
Oh,
like if you're still standing, that guy's still coming. Like accidents happen, just figure it out and go. So that was
whoa.
that was a big shock to me. Or in IFMA too, ref is yelling break. They're not breaking. They're gonna keep knee and keep knee and keep knee until the ref pulls you apart. And these are just things as like Americans, our team had to learn going there. It was, we were told about it, but then you see it. It's like, yeah, this guy, they're fighting. They're not listening. They're not worried about what the ref is saying too much. Like it's a scrap, and they want it. And yeah, it's different change of pace for sure.
Wow. So what's the like rush? I mean, you must feel when you're supporting your country. Like, is there a different vibe going into like when you're doing those fights opposed to maybe doing Muay Thai fights outside of that team?
Yeah, definitely. More pressure to it because you want to represent well for your country and not only your team and your family, but you got everyone back home watching, and you know everyone going into a fight. They tell you like, I'm gonna do it. I'm bringing it home for the team, and it's a lot of pressure, especially when it doesn't happen. Definitely, it's a long plane ride home.
Dude, that's sick, man. That's some Rocky shit. Like freaking Muay Thai right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's uh just something a lot of people don't really realize. So going back to the 10-year-old kids. So you have where are they doing these fights too, right? They're international and they're bringing